All right, we're live, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon. I'm here with Heckma Harrison. I'm Chris Herron. Alongside me is also Dalton Jernigan. And we're kind of just going right into this one here. We have ESD in Highland Park, game one of the AA class semifinals. And Dalton, we're underway right away as Frank Musa takes the face-off and a shot, and it's saved by Kowalski.
If you know anything about Frank Musa, he's going to take the X, and if he does, he's going to take the shot as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Frank's certainly one of the best face-off players at the X in executing and obtaining possession of the ball, but certainly probably the best offensive threat in the entire state right now.
Yep. Since we're kind of in a tight window, that last game, Lake Travis and Kincaid going to overtime, talking about since we have the Eagles with their first possession on offense, Dalton, are we going to see that Sean Barron show up that we think we're going to show up?
That's going to be the key. What Sean Brown are we going to see? Are we going to see that UVA commit that has the ability to completely take over games? It's going to be crucial that they get him going and initiating so he can open up that backside for Cooper Rainey, who's very deadly when he gets his hands free from the outside perimeter.
Yeah, and Heckma, when we're looking at matchups here one-on-one, what are you thinking as far as that guy that's covering Sean Brown right now, that big number 11?
You know what? I think that Keller Holmes is obviously one of your best guys, but there's so many guys that they have on defense, but also Ben Abel within the cage. I think so far with HP, that's been the most drastic improvement for them this year, has been the way that they play defense, how aggressive they are, and also keep your eyes on number 33, Ben Boyer, the sophomore. Man, this guy can open a can opener with his stick.
Yeah, shot and save. Speaking of your man right there, Ben Abel with a nice little save, tracking it the whole way. Initial shot backed up by Xavier Monteiro, the junior, heading to Westminster next year.
And certainly, HP's got the biggest advantage. They're certainly the favorite to win it all this year. But the real advantage they have is with their four senior captains, and Ben Abel, who's going to Loyola, Wesley, the Goose Iverson, Frank Musa, who's going to go to Quinnipiac, and Quinn Gordon going to Colorado College. Those four, they just have such incredible leadership, and when we get to championship weekend, those are the teams that come home with the state title. Yep. So they're going to be at a massive advantage. But as you mentioned, Hegba, HP certainly is going to have, they have the most aggressive and athletic defense. You mentioned Ben Boyer. This kid's special. I think he's the best defender we're going to see, and sheer just athletic potential the entire weekend.
Yep, shot off the end line right there by Wesley Iverson. It's going to be backed up by the Scots. We got a little initiation here behind the end line, a little two-man action. Shades of the Looney brothers outside of Navy. Skip pass is going to be going out of bounds. Looks like we're trying to settle in here. Both teams look like they're a little bit jittery, guys.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Parker Addison has really stepped on the scene ever since he was a freshman, sophomore. Probably looking to force that a little too much out of the gate, especially off that first dodge. We saw that big little action, which I think we've seen the entire season, but really want to get into multiple different dodges before you look for that skip pass, get that defense rotating a little bit more.
Yep, all those conversations that we've had with these coaches going into the Final Four. A lot of these players have been in this position before, so it's going to be interesting to see when these teams settle in, how they notch goals and how they potentially stop people from scoring here. So Sean Brown swinging it down to Monteiro again. Looks like Highland Park electing to put a short stick on him. Shot goes high. It's going to be backed up by the Eagles.
And I'm loving to see HP come out in the man look to start things off. They switched it up quite a bit. Coach Mike Pressler goes from zone to man, but I think their best defense has been their man defense. As I talked last week about this team and their ability to shut teams down on man. Let's see how long Coach Mike Pressler elects to stay on the man side.
Yep, pass to the inside. Shot is going to be saved again by Abel. Rebound picked up by the Scots.
Very nice kick save.
Yeah, very nice kick save. Kick save and a beauty, as they say. Successful clear here. Transitional opportunity, but they elect to have some patience here. Start to move the ball down the side.
And Hegman, you're totally right. I mean, I think we'll see some zones, especially look for that out of a timeout. ESD has been very successful at that as well. But, as you mentioned, HP is just so athletic. I got to think defensive coordinator Coach Stahl is going to have his guys really press out and chase. And if I'm Coach Stahl, especially, Sean Brown, you maybe don't want to poke the bear, but certainly go after Monotero and Cooper Rainey, who are more off-ball guys.
Yeah, Parker Harris, a little too hot to handle right there. Goes past his stick. Ball's going to go out of bounds. ESD's going to get it back. And speaking of the offensive side here, too, we're talking about Highland Park's defense. Coach Brown, obviously no slouch here. The resume playing at Hopkins and what he's going to be doing. S. Dodge underneath. Shot's going to go high again. Attempt in the transition right there. Just over the cage. Jackson Pennington with the take. Backed up by Cooper Rainey.
And Pennington's really stepped up as Conradi, who's probably been ESD's most consistent offensive initiator. Started as a two-way midi, and I know, Coach Southern and Coach Kutzer and Iannucci had talked about, like, he's such a good offensive player. We need him more on the offensive end, and we've really seen Pennington step up, not just on the defensive end as a defensive midi, but also pushing it in between the lines in transition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, seeing that guy, he came out of nowhere. Doesn't really have anything on the internet as far as YouTube, highlight videos, anything like that. He's certainly shown some moxie here for the Eagles. There's a pass just to the hashes. Sean Brown with it's going to sweep inside. Shot's going to be saved by Abel.
Boy, what a save by Ben Abel, because you're right, guys. Sean Brown standing in the GLE the way he was right there, that is hard to stop him. Number 10, he's almost automatic from that distance.
Yep, for those of you watching on camera right now, right around that 20 to 15-yard line is going to be a very dangerous, vulnerable spot for a defense. So look to those guys to potentially go earlier when Sean Brown's got the rock.
Yeah, and if I'm ESD, you got to mix up some of those shots. Don't go stick side. Abel's probably one of the best goalies in the state of Texas, if not the best. Certainly one of the big reasons why he's going to Loyola College. But you're just going to get him hot if you're just going to put those right in the stick.
Yep, shot right there is going to be deflected. Scrum for it in the middle of the field. It's going to be a play on. Looks like there's going to be a push on the Eagles. Goes back to the Scots. Parker Harris with the rock in the low wing here. And Highland Park looking to maintain possession here. Showing some patience, pass to the wing. Nice rotational pass. Shot's going to be saved a little bit. Looked like Kowalski got a little piece of that one. Backed up again by Highland Park.
It looks like they're jumping into a zone here.
Yep. We've seen that zone by the Eagles pretty much all year. Showed it first against Westlake when we called it.
Well, this one, I think Coach Kutzer has mixed it up a little bit where they're stringing from X with the short stick, and it looks like they went back into man here.
Oh, nice. Nice little job right there in the one-on-one, but it's still going to be picked up by Highland Park. Heading up the hash. Move to the inside. Good slide right there by the wing.
You talked about the nerves that both of these teams have. You see that playing out here in these first couple of minutes of the first quarter from those errant passes that HP made. But I'm telling you, the physicality for ESD is apparent, as you've seen right there in those mini scrubs with coming away with the ground ball. Very important for ESD to keep that momentum going throughout this contest.
Yep, here we are, just under 5 minutes in the first of game one of two of our Class AA semifinal games today. As we get ESD back with their offensive possession here. Alley dodge to the left, throwback. Solid movement to Sean Brown. Sean Brown saved again by Abel. Stole that one. What a nice save right there by the senior.
And he's certainly looking to push it in transition. He's getting hot. He's had two beautiful outlets. The one before to Colin Hale, he just kind of dropped it out in front. He was able to scoop, and then that pass was on the dot off his back foot.
Yep. As we can see that right there, Sean Brown, like we've talked about before, the Sean Brown that shows up, usually when he scores first, that's the guy that gets the offense going, starts the fire. Heckman, who do you think starts the fire here for Highland Park offensively?
So many of those guys, and those sensational sophomores that they have, I can't really just point to one guy at all. I wish I could.
Yep.
But for sure that guys like number 12, Quinn Gordon, the captain, he can definitely do it for you really quick. But guys like number 19, Duncan Zilke, we see him working from behind X a lot. So they're using his vision to get the party started.
Yep, Cameron Riley looking to get the ball back after he swung it up top. But it's going to be Eddie Ellison with the takeaway. And here he comes in transition. We got an opportunity here. ESD has numbers. Stepping in, shot. Oh, goes high.
I was going to say, if we're going to get it started with a pole goal, then we're going to be here all day, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and a lot of times for a lot of our viewers at home, those are the most difficult shots for a goalie to make a save because the release point is so much higher, which actually forces them to kind of look up and not be in an athletic stance compared to a short stick.
Yep. Are they going high? Are they going low? Too many questions going through their head. We're going to give that senior Ben Abel the benefit of the doubt, though, heading to the next level.
Got to give Monteterra some credit there. A lot of times you got those guys just sitting there ball watching when a pole's coming. As soon as he wound up, he was just bolting to the sideline or the end line.
Absolutely. As we get low wing opportunity here. Swinging back up. Brennan surveying the Washington Lee commit. Tries to sweep to the middle, but it's taken away.
How about that for Nathan Harper, showing a lot of love with that stick and bringing the ball off the head of it with the rear check.
Yep, and Harper tried to keep it on the ground. Is going to be backed up and picked up by Brennan. Moves it over to Conrodi. And it looks like Monteiro wants to take some time. Surveys behind the cage. Shot, low angle. Looks like it got a little bit over the net here. Backed up again by Monteiro.
In our brief open, we talked a little bit, and we've been talking about the offensive guys, but the real difference here today, certainly both goalies have been playing very well, but the defense, they've come out with, on both sides, very fundamentally sound approaches, and we've seen several calls turnovers, CTs already.
Yep, we got both teams here trying to crack the seal here on the scoring. Conrodi behind the cage, swings it up. Initiation right there. Shot. Nope, it's going to be hitting the side of the net, not the back of the net.
So, guys, I learned what a mom goal is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just happy that I didn't holler for the mom goal.
You're good. You're good. You got it. We're also going to teach you what a desk pop is today. So
right, we're
going to show you that as well.
Good rule of thumb, watch the players and coaches' sidelines, not the parents' sidelines.
Got to make sure you have your head on a swivel. It's like playing defense in basketball. Man ball.
It's embarrassing in a broadcast to be victimized by a mom goal.
Absolutely. Got a potential over and back here coming. And yes, it is. Picked up by Monteiro. Quick whistle opportunity. And remember, Monteiro does a good job setting his feet before the whistle blows. A lot of the running start stuff. Kids just pick it up and take off. Make sure you set your feet.
And you don't see a lot of those, but you do have that roll over and back, just like basketball.
Yep. Was a potential by the Highland Park defense. Looking for a heady play. They did a good job lifting there, but unfortunately couldn't keep it on their offensive end. Sean Brown's going to swing it over. We got just under a minute here.
If I would have told you guys this morning that we would not have a score in this first quarter, would you have believed me? I don't think anyone would have believed that this thing would be 0-0 with 44 seconds left in the first.
Yep. And in our brief pregame, let's not forget our pregame show sponsors by C2 Education. As we got the ESD Eagles here, attempting another offensive possession. Sweeten back in. A little weave action going over the top. Looked like a little bit of a off-ball push there, but doesn't matter. Nice cross-check right there by the Highland Park defense.
And this is a new wrinkle, I think, that Coach Southern and Iannucci put in. We haven't seen that weave look yet this season.
Yep, just 10 seconds left. Alley dodge down to Sean Brown. Low angle is going to be kick saved again by Abel. And backed up again by the Eagles. We got just 3 seconds here. And absolutely, Heckma, again, both, and Coach Jernigan likes to give me a hard time all the time. I'm such an offensive homer. But here we are, scoreless in the first quarter. Teams are going to take a break. We're going to take a break. And we'll be right back after this.
car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And it looks like we're back here for the start of the second quarter. Nice thanks to our sponsors there with those commercials. How about John Steinmetz with the hair right there in that commercial right there?
Phenomenal.
Just, feeling the flow, doing the bull dance, working it. But here we are before the face-off. Our face-off sponsor today brought to you by 214 Lacrosse. I'm sure they're going to be trying to coach or recruit Mr. Musa after the performance he's put on all year. Stud heading to Quinnipiac in the MAC conference next year.
And right now, it's 50-50. I mean, that's going to be massive for ESD. Even if ESD keeps Musa to 60%, I think that's going to be a big win for him because it was such a defensive battle, which I don't think it should be that much of a surprise knowing that the goalies in both the nets and a lot of the defenders. There's a lot of youth there that aren't committed, but I think, after we get through this summer with some of these 2024s and certainly next year with the 2025s, you're going to see a lot of these young defenders out here going to play at the next level.
Yeah. And speaking of the face-off X2, you see it in the growing trend at the next level. The two-man face-off unit against the one-guy face-off unit tends to wear some people down. Perfect example, the Wolverines, Nick Rowlett, Justin Wheatfeld against Weirman and Maryland. They kind of wore him down through that whole championship game, and it's a big factor. If you're the only guy, it's tough. And just being a face-off coach personally, you see that difference as there's a turnover right there by the Eagles.
And I think that's going to be a massive undertaking if you have Frank Musa at 60% at face-off. I mean, we hadn't seen it all year long, so that would be a new wrinkle for ESD to absolutely hold them at the X.
100%. Both Will Brenners and Michael Cohen, seniors, both over 55% last year. Got pretty close to that percentage this year.
And Hegba, in order to do that, you're going to have to see ESD because you're not going to probably win a lot of those face-off clamps, but that actually doesn't get you the win. The win gets you the GB. So look for ESD to really incorporate their wing play by throwing Camaraderie up there or some maybe double polling to put that pressure on Musa.
Yep. Montiero, look for the skip pass right there. Solid patience by the Eagles on offense so far. Attempted look up the hash by Montiero again. Cooper Rainey looked for the backup pass inside. Saved again by Abel. Stole that one. What poise by the senior, and he is fired up, and he should be.
And that's point-blank range for Ben Abel. Standing in the line of fire and getting that save, but right now HP has to get something going on offense.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to take a timeout to talk it over offensively. What a save by Abel right there.
That was massive.
Sean Brown.
And I think Sean Brown was just a little too casual. You got to go quick stick, get that thing in and out right away, or get him moving. There wasn't really any fakes that were getting him off of his line, and that's crucial when you're inside right in front of the cage.
Yep, that replay on the save by Abel, brought to you by Groovy Hughes, your one-stop shop for paint, power, and washing. And I got to tell you, there's been some solid looks from both sides offensively. But, again, if you're Coach Brown, what are we saying here in the huddle, Dalton?
I think it gets back to initiating. We've seen like one dodge, but we haven't seen multiple dodges. ESD is doing a good job of getting multiple dodges and getting that rotation. But HP's getting phenomenal play out of Abel. With HP, they got to get into that. Look for them to carry an invert, go into the big little. Certainly, I think Quinn Gordon's probably their best initiator in terms of just sheer speed and athleticism. And then your sophomores that Hegma brought up in your Paxton Smiths and your Parker Addisons.
Yep, and Hegma, if you're Coach Cutzer talking to this Eagle defense, who do you think they're looking for here?
I mean, look, ESD has handled their business on defense. They've had so many shot opportunities on offense. They just haven't been able to capitalize. I don't know if you change anything if you're ESD, because this is going as well as you would have anticipated other than scoring.
Yep, totally agree, my man. And here we go, coming out of that timeout. ESD really pressing the adjacents here, at least from behind. He's got a wide open guy up top in the corner. Ball's going to swing. It's going to be Cameron Riley with the rock. Got a potential two-man happening, short to short on that low wing. Ball's going to go through X, surveying behind the cage. Pass back up top, back through Riley. We get that lefty alley dodge down to Harris. Harris going to take it behind. As we get another two-man look here, potentially. Yep, and there it is. Pick coming up the hash, past the inside. Quick stick goal, there it is. First one of the day. Pass to the inside, off the look from behind the net.
And I really like how they just went right at the pole matchup. Now, Brian Rapp, B-Rapp, did a nice job. You're going to see it here with the swing pick that got a little bit of separation. And then Duncan Zelke, who's very good off ball, you mentioned that in the open, did a good job finding that soft spot in the defense. And then Addison was able to use his vision and make a beautiful assist.
And all I can say for number 19 is way to deliver the mail. He's standing right there on the doorstep.
Oh, and there it is again, right off the face-off. Musa takes it down the pipe, swings it out to the wing, and just like that, Highland Park opens it up 2-0 Scots.
Exactly what they needed to have happen. Rapid succession points happening. ESD, again, they were cutting these guys off out of the crease, and just like that, Duncan Zelke standing on the doorstep getting that score, but that's a ball that just rolled into the goal.
Yep, it looked like Kowalski got a little piece of it, but it wasn't enough to keep it going past that little white line where his heels are standing, as ESD is going to get a quick break forward, but a little bit of a tough sled in there for the GB, going to be picked up by the Scots again. And we got some momentum here going for the Scots after that quick goal off the faceoff.
Yeah, it looked like ESD was going to regain some of that control with that faceoff. They got the ball out, but then Wesley Iverson does an incredible job on a really tough GB to obtain possession for Highland Park.
Yep, now let's not forget about our goal sponsors for the day, brought to you by State Farm, in particular, Agent Natalie Burkhalter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And guess what? So's Natalie.
We need the jingle. We need the jingle to happen at the same time.
Where's Jake?
My man.
Yeah, I'm not wearing khakis today, so.
Isn't State Farm discount double check?
That was one.
Okay,
that was one when they had Rogers and what was it, Raji Harris, the big
Jet,
DN.
the new Jet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'm interested to see because they got the band back together. Who was the wide receiver? Oh, shot take right there. Kowalski tracked it the whole way going low.
Good job by Kowalski stepping in between that shot.
Absolutely. And here come the Eagles.
Really going back in the vault because that was before the darkness retreat days. Before that became a thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to lose my mind. Who was the wide receiver? They just picked him up again with the Jets. They were in
Cobb?
the same commercial. Yes, Randall Cobb. Thank you. My goodness, I was going to lose it. I was going to think of it at 3 a.m. I was going to wake up. I was going to call you both.
You're going to say that at 3 a.m. out of your sleep.
Exactly.
Randall Cobb.
Exactly. Randall Cobb, that's it.
And unfortunately, I think I just stole your water, by the way.
It's okay. We're all friends here. Saved again by Abel. Man, he's really tracking it right now, guys.
And how about that for number 24, Henry Richter, able to attack that ground ball, exactly what HP needed. They started out with all the nerves. We saw the errant passes, these, and they do that, man. From time to time, there's the slow starts, but you see those early points get scored, and right now, HP looks like, they could be possibly clicking on all cylinders.
And to your point, what I really like, and if I'm HP, I got to be happy about is they got it started with their younger guys. They're sophomores, they're juniors. So they're just going to carry that momentum, and those are the guys that usually have to work out the nerves a little bit more than some of your seniors.
Yep, that replay sponsor right there, brought to you by Iron Horse, serving the state of Texas, Houston, Austin, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Shout out to Coach Saran. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're tuning in as there's a shot saved by Kowalski. It's kind of like a walk-off right now in Zoolander. We got both goalies really standing in between the pipes, making some solid saves right now. Really making the guys on offense for both teams earn the shots, earn the goals, too.
I think the only reason why you wanted to drop that reference is because you wanted to show off your blue steel.
I mean, definitely. I shaved my head for this whole thing. I mean, come on.
Hegma, I see you more as a Magnum guy.
I don't even know where to go with that, man. I take that as broadcast partnership banter that you guys know. I stay out of all conversations that have to do with hair. So just
Dude, hey, you and me both, man. Come on. Dalton's the only one that's the odd man out, finally. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, we get Sean Brown. Looks like the Eagles are trying to lean on the UVA commit to get something going here. He's sweeping to his left, gets a body dodge towards the hash. He's going to roll back. Quick double team, though.
And if I'm Coach Stahl, I'm setting more double teams because we've seen Sean Brown just initiate and just trying to score off the dodge.
Pass the inside, saved again by Abel. Man, this guy is standing on his head right now.
that's it. That has been Abel at his best. We've seen him with point-blank range shots, just communicating with his defense. Where he has the most trouble is when there are guys in front of him and his vision isn't there. Right now, man, vision impeccable. They're getting those spacing for him, and he's able to see those shots coming at him clearly.
Yep, certainly. Just like hockey, the screen can definitely make a goalie vulnerable. Highland Park doing a good job making sure that he's seeing good shots, but also from good distance.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly had a couple steals like that one and then the one against Sean Brown earlier. But if I'm ESD, create slides. Sean Brown's got to get the ball in and out of his stick faster, and that's why we haven't seen anything out of Cooper Rainey. They got to flip the field, especially for Ben Abel. If you're a goalie, you have to be stationary in order to make the save. So you want to get shots off as they're going from pipe to pipe. That's usually where they're more vulnerable.
Yep, absolutely. And again, other vulnerability when you're dodging on offense, usually rolling back above the goal. I mean, you saw it right there. That double team came right to the back of his head. You don't really have a tendency to see that stuff. There's more guys above the goal than there is behind the goal. As we get a pass to the wing, step down shot attempt. It's going to go wide, backed up by the Scots again.
It's good open shot for Duncan Zilke over here on the near side, and that's what you're finding. These shot makers, man, they're standing in prime position to get a score, and you see these guys working from behind X, guys like Duncan Zilke camping out in front of that crease, as you saw in my example right there.
Right there. Pass just a little too low, though. Trickled into Kowalski as he corralled it.
Yeah, to your point is they're doing a really good job of keeping their eyes on the ball and their sticks up. You don't see them being lazy off ball with their sticks on their hips. They're being very attentive in finding those seams so they can execute off ball and get good looks.
Yep, the Eagles come back. Oh, little miscommunication there. And that would have been an over and back because it was under 60 on the shot clock, but the Scots pick it up. They got numbers. Pass in front of the net and a goal right there quickly in transition. Montiero tried to get it to Conrodi, and it trickled right into a Scots stick. And just like that, transition 3-0.
Just like a basketball fast break, you get in transition. You got three guys. You make sure everybody touched the goal. The last guy takes the shot, and number 20, Harris Sands, standing right there on the doorstep again. Easy pitch and catch for the Highland Park Scots, man. It doesn't get any easier than that.
Yep, here comes Musa.
I got to give Harris Sands a lot of credit there. He's had 2 goals, 1 righty, 1 lefty, showing his versatility and being able to use both hands, which is something you don't always see down here in Texas.
Yep, had a little bit of a equipment malfunction. That usually tends to happen with some face-off guys. They had the mesh get caught. That usually means guys are starting to meet at the same point when they're looking to clamp the ball, but Musa ends up getting it. And he's going to get it over to his teammate. It's going to be Ryan Rapp with it. Back over to Riley. Rapp's going to look to conduct a little bit as we get it down to the low wing. That last face-off again, brought to you by 214 Lacrosse. Pass to the wing. Solid ball movement out of the Scots as a shot goes in again, and there it is. And we got some intensity on the sideline. The Highland Park faithful loving that one. Solid ball movement out of the Scots once again.
An excellent execution by Rapp. He throws that high bouncer. When you get those high bouncers, you're going to see it here. You actually bounce it outside of the crease, and that makes it go high to that top shelf. It's very, very difficult for goalies to make those saves.
Yep, the read heading towards the feet, trying to cut the angle, trying to meet the ball at the ground. But
now, guys, I got to ask. I mean, from 15 yards out, that's got to be the degree of difficulty has to be added ×2 to that shot, right?
Absolutely. But again, like that's one of those things, like just as an offensive coach, like he's got the window, 15 yards or not, like, and I know Coach Brown will probably say the same thing, and I know one of his old teammates will say the same thing. Sometimes you just got to let the dragon breathe. Just let it rip. And there it is. Another shot goes wide.
Yeah, and if you're shooting from 15, you got to bring an absolute heater, or you do exactly what Rapp did and you throw that high bouncer, because it's just so difficult for the goalie to track. He can't get in there and smother it because that ball's hitting the turf outside of the crease and he can't reach it.
Yep. Had it been on a line, definitely probably would have been easier to track. But because it's missing or going at a different angle, it's just way harder to pick up. It's the same thing kind of like a pole goal. That pole going over the top is very difficult to do. All right, we're going to take a quick break as there's a timeout, looks like by the Scots, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back here, middle of the second, as the Scots came out hot and came out swinging. And, I mean, look, we got to give credit to the Moose right there. The powder keg gets that whole thing going.
And also Ben Abel. Ben Abel has created a lot of momentum with some big-time saves, not just from the perimeter, but also inside doorstep saves.
Yep.
Yeah, what I'm loving right now is HP stealing the momentum here in the second quarter. These guys tightening up on defense. You were giving ESD pretty much the formula on how they win at the faceoff, and I think Frank Musa must have heard you, because you saw him kick that out and his wing guy come up and get the ground ball, on the faceoff, and that's how they've been getting things going. So obviously things are working for HP right now, up by 4 points.
Well, I would hope so, because I've coached the kid since he was in 4th or 5th grade.
So it's already in his head.
Yeah. Just that ESP, as there's a shot goes wide again. Look by Blair Brennan, the Washington Lee commit. Tried for the sidearm to go high on Abel. Backed up by Montiero. He's looking to work, going up the hash. It's going to swing back over. We'll pull matchup going down the righty alley. He's going to elect to try to get it to the short sticks. Remember, attack the short sticks on offense. See what happens.
And defensively, right now, they're just keeping guys out around the crease. You just saw them collapse inside. But this defense, man, is really standing up right now for HP. ESD has to get something going with Brown and Rainey. These are two names we hadn't called a lot of. And
and there it is. Another save by Abel.
That's the guy you need to get hot if you're ESD.
Yep, Josh Logan with the look. Abel says no. Transition opportunity, pass in front, and another goal. And they're taking advantage of getting the ball up and out as soon as possible. They must have saw something on film, Dalton.
Well, it all started with the defense, as Hegman mentioned. And I got to give a lot of credit to Hudson Jones, who's always been an attackman, actually, and then has recently made the switch over to midfield on the defensive end. Did a really good job executing the scout against Swift, who's a lefty. Really likes to sweep to his left. Stopped him the first time. Then the second time, he did get to the middle a little bit, but still had a lot of contact. that allowed Ben to make an easy save.
And checking out the replay, brought to you by Iron Horse. The goal again brought to you by Natalie Burkhalter, State Farm Agency. And that face-off looks like it's going to end up going ESD's
I'm not
way.
really so sure what happened on that violation there.
Looked like a potential kick in the cross right there. And going back to the face-off, I mean, stealing it from national championship winning coach at Maryland, Chris Mattis. It's not a 1v1, it's a 3v3. So you mentioned it before, that 3v3, that kick out that Musa had, his wing guys right there creating the transition. As we get some solid ball movement out of the Eagles, and there it is. Cooper Rainey opens up the scoring for the Eagles with that rocket right there.
And Hegma, you called it right there. Unfortunately, Wesley Iverson needed to play out a little bit more, and he was screening Ben Abel. You saw him drop the John Cena, you can't see me, like, get out of my way so I could see the shot.
Yep, Cooper Rainey, the senior. We've seen him all year. Kind of like Happy Gilmore, right in his happy place right there in that low righty wing with that step down in transition.
And that was a nice goal, but I don't think it was a 5-pointer. I think our scorekeeper got a little excited, had a dollar back there.
I saw that too, so he saw it pull it right back in.
Yep.
There's a ground ball taken by HP, but you know, those we called for two guys, Brown and Rainey. We knew that they would have to have their imprint on this game if ESD has any opportunity of winning it. And right there, it just was a perfect opportunity for the Eagles to get on the board. They're going to have to continue this with seconds to go here in the first.
Here comes another transitional opportunity. Shot's going to be deflected as Highland Park swarms on it. And there's going to be a flag down. Let's see what the call is here.
And that was massive for momentum. You saw them after they get that goal, their intensity just cranked up on that faceoff. They come up with a big ground ball. Looks like we're going to get a push with possession there, or possibly a trip. And ESD is going to start the second half man up.
Yep, and there we go. That's going to do it for the first half. We're going to be back here. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back with our halftime recap brought to you by Firehouse Subs in a little bit.
I love the idea that when you pull into the service garage, your name comes up on the screen. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Infinity locations.
I'll sit down, have a cup of cappuccino, a cookie, read a book. When the car is ready, they come get me. It's a great way to start a Saturday.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
I actually look forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
I put a lot of mileage on my car, so I am practically at Sewell every 3 months. Every single time that I go, it's amazing. Everybody is welcoming, everybody is professional, everybody is kind. It's just like easy, fast, right to the point. You're in, you're out. Cannot imagine being with anybody else but Sewell. Their customer service is absolutely flawless. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Lexus locations.
And we're back here with a quick first half recap. Dalton, what are we thinking here?
I mean, it's a great start, especially defensively for HP. You got the anchor, Ben Abel, who's made big saves in front of the cage, right in front of the crease, outside perimeter, and then also his ability to get the ball up and out quickly to generate transition. HP's gotten 2 out of 5 of their goals from there. The key for here, if I'm Mike Pressler at halftime, is you can't let up. You know, they really controlled that first half, but they're only up by 4 goals, which isn't a lot in lacrosse. And then I think for ESD, you know, you got to get Conrodi. I mean, this is the quietest we've seen them. We've called a lot of their games. You got to get some of their off-ball guys going, like Rainey, Sean Brown. You know, get him initiating more to facilitate that offense and open it up. Face-offs, I think they got to mix it up. Start incorporating you maybe double pulls or get out there and pull, you know, Musa. Defensively, I think they've done a pretty good job, especially keying on the seniors, the Quinn Gordons and the Wesley Iversons. But when you have like those big-time players that you want to stop, you can't let the other guys have career days like Zelke and Harris Sands.
Yep.
He didn't leave a lot of meat on that bone, so I don't know where I can go. I'm just going to tell you just like this. Yeah, I really first of all, everything that you said is correct. And for ESD, getting their guys like Cooper, Rainey, Brown, we saw Rainey with that shot and the vision of being impacted by that shot. But at the same time, guys, ESD just has to stay in this game. No lead is safe in lacrosse, and guys can come back from being down 4 in no time. But for HP, they have all the momentum. When you have guys like Duncan Zilke and Harris Sands firing the way that they are and their defense playing the way that they are, all they have to do is have a continuation of that. And you know Mike Pressler, he's making some adjustments at halftime, but if these guys fall off, he's quick to call a timeout.
And to your point, if I'm Iannucci and Coach Southern, maybe I start to look at a little bit of a 1-4-1 action or 2-2-2 action to get a lot of movement in front of the cage to block some of Abel's vision. Certainly coming out here at halftime and starting in an EMO is going to be, you know, extra man opportunity is going to be massive for ESD. If they could stick one on the board on this EMO opportunity, that's going to be huge to cut this lead to 3.
Yep. Well, both teams back out on the field looking to do a little partner passing right now. We're going to take another quick break, and we're going to be right back with the start of the second half right after this.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
we're back for the start of the second half here. Highland Park leading the Eagles of ESD. That's halftime show brought to you by Firehouse Subs. I was just hounding a delicious Firehouse Sub during that break. I got chocolate all over my hands from that cookie.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not going on camera anytime soon.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Do I have anything in my teeth?
No, I think you're good.
All right, thanks.
You got something in your beard, though.
I do, don't I? I could feel it. Sometimes, you know.
I feel like I'm watching Family Guy. There's going to be a bird that's going to fly out of it.
Yeah.
No,
I trimmed it a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, as we start the half here with the Eagles on the extra man, looking to continue to chip away at this Scots lead. Solid ball movement out of the Eagles so far. Cooper Rainey box fake, and oh, man, they bit on that one. Yep, and I don't know who that was, but he's definitely looking at everybody. It was Donovan Riley saying, my bad. My bad, guys.
Looks like they started in a 1-3-2 and then rotated into a 1-4-1.
Yep, Cooper Rainey with the box fake. Everybody bit on it.
Oh, we got a snatcher out there.
Yeah, another errant pass, little tennis racket thing going on.
I think that's more in the catcher.
Yeah,
I saw snatching action down there.
All right, there we go. And here comes Highland Park after that penalty kill.
Good job stealing that possession for number 22, Harrison Wheeler.
Yep. Highland Park is truly settled in defensively. Got to give credit again to that senior and Ben Abel. Certainly tracking it, especially in that first half. And Highland Park gets their first look on offense of this half. Pass out to the wing, throwback shot from the hash, saved by Kowalski. Tracking that one the whole way.
Doesn't get any easier than that for Kowalski. It didn't have anybody in his way, so is able to get the save. But you're absolutely right, Ben Abel. Both of these guys, man, Kowalski's just been the one getting peppered with the most shots.
Yep, and Ellefson in transition tried to get it to the senior Rainey, but it's stoned again by Abel.
But to be honest, I like that look. HP did a very good job rotating it, moving the ball forward. I think Paxton's just got to change his shot placement. That was just, he didn't place it. I mean, it made it easy for the goalie, just kind of stick side, low, but not too low. He probably had a little bit more time. He probably could have gotten another step, maybe go with a bouncer or off-stick hip.
Kind of like what we mentioned with that 15-yard bomb that went in on the high bouncer. If you're changing planes, usually you got a better shot, but on that one, straight plane. Corralled by Kowalski as the shot's going to go by him again.
Oh, the goose slipping through that slide. Excellent shot placement going off stick hip with the bouncer.
Yeah, Wesley Iverson from the hash, shooting it to the far pipe, goes right by Kowalski. Taking advantage of the no slide.
Well, and Wesley Iverson is a very big physical player. You see it here on the dodge. Comes to the middle, really kind of splits three guys. And does a great job on that shot placement.
That's exactly what he did. Like you said, the goose is loose. I got his nickname from Aiden Cox and Sam Wheeler. Those guys told me all of the nicknames for these guys. So yeah. I finally got the inside scoop on these nicknames.
There we go. Behind the scenes info, crucial, especially when you're talking to a high school kid. And Highland Park taking a solid lead here, 6-1, coming out of the start of the second half. Just over 9.5 to go.
Did Aiden tell you what his nickname was? He goes by Primal or Liver King. He's a big Liver King guy.
Liver King, okay. Yeah. I think he had something a little different, like a lemur or something like that. It's like, how did you get that nickname?
Harris behind the cage, survey, pass inside, and a goal again.
And that's from Duncan Zilke, who I know is called Donuts.
Donuts with the hattie.
Donuts with the hat trick, indeed. As we had some nice poise right there by the sophomore and Parker Harris, quarterbacking it behind the cage. And our replay here, brought to you by Iron Horse.
Yeah, excellent job by Addison, changing direction to get separation, to get his hands free, and then Duncan Zelke just wide open in front of the cage.
Yep, Iron Horse serving the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area, Austin and Houston. Grades 12K through 12.
Well, what a battle this has been at the faceoff, guys. I thought you were insane when you said 60%, but you're spot on with that. I mean, this has definitely been a battle at the faceoff.
Yep, Michael Cohen trying to get a little bit of stuff back from the Moose, but it ends up in the stick of the Scots. And here they come again on offense. And Dalton, if you're Coach Southern, I mean, do you call timeout when you get a chance? How are we stopping the bleeding here?
I mean, you really got to get their offense going, and they got to be a little bit patient, which is going to sound counterproductive because they're down 7-1, but they still have a lot of time. They got to get where they're getting, 2 to 3 dodges. Don't try and score off the first dodge.
Yep, we can't be Frank the Tank. We got to keep our composure.
We've come a long way since then,
and we don't want them coming back now, do we? And here we go. Shot high. Attempt right there. Harris Sands stepping in. Just over the net. Backed up again by the Scots. Over to Parker Harris. It seems like they've been really utilizing Harris behind the cage here. Kind of quarterbacking everything.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that from him and also Duncan Zilke to start this contest. So rotating those guys, and I think that's a great luxury to have when you have that many guys that have great vision that you trust to get your offense started.
Yeah, and Parker Addison, I mean, he's probably their best point equivalent to basketball, your point guard. He's been in that role ever since he's a freshman. He's really feeling it right now. He's doing a great job facilitating the offense.
Yep, and Zilke backed it up for them. Shot rebound by Kowalski. Triggle in front of the net and then end up in Kowalski's stick. Pass to Ellefson's going to go at his feet. Nice little toe drag in the middle of the field. Transition opportunity for the Eagles. Pump fake, Rainey shot. Oh, and it rings the post.
Oh,
and
I think they're going to get the backup.
It doesn't look like, I don't know if anybody wearing blue got to the ball as it was heading to the sideline. And, yep, it's going to go to the Scots.
How about the velocity on that shot, man? It just needed to be a centimeter inside, and that's a score.
Yeah, it was great placement, but Pipe can also be the goalie's best friend.
Pipe sometimes is a save, clearly right there. Quinn Gordon's going to get it with the Scots, and he's going to swing it back up and look to sub. We got Brian Rapp with the ball. Excuse me, Ryan Rapp. And showing a little bit more patience, taking their opportunities, taking their time. Just over 50 seconds left in the shot clock. Plenty of time for the Scots on offense.
There's your point guard trying to work his way back top side.
Yep. Swinging it back over, surveying the field. Cutting through the low wing. Operating from the hash. Back to the low wing. Two-man action. Step down shot. Saved by Kowalski and a rebound. Picked up by the Eagles.
And the other thing that's impressive is both the 2 assists that Addison's had from X, he's done it with his weak hand, his lefty. But you've seen a lot of these underclassmen that put in a ton of work, whether it's here playing locally. I know a lot of these guys play for Cabell Maddox up in D.C. for Madlax, utilizing both hands, which you traditionally see a lot in your hotbed areas, and it's really impressive to see it here.
Oh, man, it was an offside call. Highland Park took advantage of the offside, the quick whistle, and they get a goal and a flag down in transition.
And that's Donuts again, diving in the crease.
He might be going for the sock trick today.
Take off everything. The hats and the socks, throw it on the field.
Well, he's got 2 more. He's got 2 more before he gets the sock
We're
trick.
getting there. We're getting there. We're counting down.
Yeah, great job. He kind of gets that S dodge and does an excellent job putting it in the back of the net. And unfortunately, ESD, when you typically push somebody from behind, it's going to probably be called. That's typically a no-no.
That last goal, again, brought to you by State Farm.
There's your scoop out right there, Coach.
Yep, there's the between the legs, utilizing the wings. And that's the tough part right there. No one really sliding upfield, so not sure if that guy was open. But, again, the Scots, with the momentum, looking to continue to push it in transition. As the Eagles get the ball. Cooper Rainey with that box fake that he loves so much. And as they come back on this offensive possession, I don't see 15 on the field yet there, Dalton. See if they can continue to try to lean on some of these guys that have shown so much for the Eagles offensively. Right now down 8-1 to the Scots. Just under 5.5 here in the third. Shot deflected on the run. It's going to be picked up. Rebound saved again by Abel.
Oh, God.
And he's going to land in the crease, but it doesn't matter. The senior.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough. I mean, he's got a really low angle shot. I'd probably prefer him to pull that out, settle, because they had they still had plenty of time on the shot clock.
Take a bounce away. Take some more time. Holmes gets the ball down to his teammates on offense. Little turf monster almost takes out Harris, but corrals himself together.
And for ESD, they've just got to stay as a unit on defense. They've just become disjointed with the movement right now from HP.
As we get another look here. As it was Addison behind the cage. Over to the wing. Highland Park electing to slow it down just a little bit here. Shot is going to bounce high and short over the cage, backed up by the Scots. Addison with the backup.
That's been impressive. We haven't seen any desk pops yet.
Not yet, no. The stick work tends to get a little bit better, I think, as you get to these semifinal games. Now there's a shot, and it's going to go to the side of the net. Got to take a couple extra steps there.
No, but I actually like that. He shot that was kind of underhand, right around the defender. If it was on cage, I think that would have been a tough one for the goalie to make a stop.
Yep. I think my boss, J.L. Reppert, if he were in the booth, would be fuming out of his ears after that shot. As Dodge underneath, shot saved again by Abel. Oh, my goodness gracious.
He's
what a
done
save
really
again by the
good
senior.
job. I mean, I don't think anybody scored on him on that opposite non-stick side. I mean, he's been doing a good job. I think he knows they're shooting there. Maybe he's baiting him a little bit into shooting that, but he's doing a great job stepping with his lead foot and getting his hands across.
Yeah, play on goes back to the Eagles. Some of the Highland Park faithful not happy with that. But it was, in fact, a push. Loose ball. As we got Sean Brown coming out of the box looking to initiate, going to his right hand. Tries to step in with the body. Rolled back, tried to pass it to his teammate and Blair Brennan, but it goes wide and low and out of bounds.
That's pressing from Brown right there. You see, he's just trying to get something going. Now, at any point, does time become of the essence because these guys are now down by 7? I know you're quick strike always in lacrosse, but do you ever tell yourself as a coach, look, guys, it's our time. We have to hurry up the pace now?
I think maybe a couple years ago, before they started incorporating the shot clock and the NCAA rules, certainly, but they're going to naturally kind of do that anyways because they're going to have that shot clock. Yep. And what you don't want, just like what you mentioned there, is for them to panic and push and then just make those non-creative turnovers where it's just giving the ball back to Highland Park.
Yep. It's a tough thing, too, just being a guy who's coached offense at the next level. If you can utilize the whole shot clock, it's a really good opportunity, but again, like, you're going to be forcing it a little bit. Again, as there's the shot by Brennan and saved by Abel, tracking it the whole way. But again, it's tough. It really is. You're down by so much. Do you utilize the whole shot clock? The clock's running down too. It's a lot of factors, and especially with high school kids, that stuff tends to get a little bit of an issue.
Because right now I'm looking at Ben Abel. He's not being rattled by any of these shots. I mean, everything that's coming in, he's cool, calm, and collective. Even when they're point blank range on him, he's just taking it right off the head of the stick. So, I mean, right now defensively for HP, I think this is as calm as I've seen these guys. They're not pressing either.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're playing with so much confidence, especially for goalies. If you can make a couple big saves like he did in the first quarter, that could totally change your performance for the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good teammate of mine, Ryan Penner, Yorktown legend, played at Marist College. He would say it's like warm-ups. You make the first one, then you make the next one, and then the next thing you know, you don't even really think about it. You're just tracking the ball, you're making the saves. And here we go again with ESD in transition. Conrody's got it, and he's going to elect to pull it out, try to set something up here. ESD looking for their opportunities. Again, trying to chip away at this Scott lead. 1:15 left in the third here of game 1 of game 2 of 2 games, I should say. Excuse me. I need to learn my math. of the semifinals for Class AA. There's too many A's and numbers right now. I'm getting thrown off.
Luckily for you, somebody else is keeping track of the score.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So as there's a shot and a goal by the Eagles, it's going to be 8-2 now, just under a minute.
And that was a great job mixing up the shots. They went low and away. You know, Abel didn't go across. He didn't bring that trail step there. That was a great placement. And that's, you know, if I'm ESD, I got to start going low. I mean, they've tested him high, and Abel's eating them up all day long. They need to start mixing up their shots like they just did right there.
Yep, looked like Rainey with the step down going overhand. Mixed up his shot from the sidearm laser that he had. And he's got both for the Eagles. As both face-off guys dig in to face one another. That face-off brought to you by 214 Lacrosse.
Got a yard still.
Yep, looked like a head might have broke. Moose is going to pick it up. Pass to the low pipe. Addison tried to corral it. Doesn't get it. They wanted the push, and they got it. Looked like it wasn't gonna. It looked like it was gonna be a no call there for a second.
Absolutely, I was waiting on the call, did not come, and at the last minute, he has us all sitting on the edge of our seats.
Yep, I thought a couple of those rope hats from the Highland Park faithful were gonna end up in the air.
Well, they should have done that a couple goals ago when Duncan got his hat trick.
I mean, I don't know. Those things are pretty nice. I don't know what's better, the Travis Matthew or the rope going on here. We got a serious, you know, fashionista battle going on with these two fan bases as the Scots come out of that reset. Looking to continue to add to their lead.
Looks like ESD is falling in their zone.
Yep, Coach Kutzer.
This is a pretty clean played game. We hadn't had a lot of man-up opportunities in this game at all.
Yep, not too much. Another low-angle, sharp shot. Hits the side of the net. Not the good side of the net. Kowalski's going to corral it. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout called by Coach Southern. He's taking a timeout. Or excuse me, I'm all over the place right now. That's the end of the third. They're taking a break. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
To car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back. We've been through three quarters. Highland Park starting to run away with this one a little bit.
Well, I think you're seeing why they're the clear favorite to win this all this weekend. And you've got a lot of production out of the younger guys, which got to give them credit, but also you got to give credit to the seniors who I think have done an incredible job as leaders, getting them prepared for this championship weekend.
And on the other side for ESD, I just think that these guys have got to just bring their intensity level up. They're 12 minutes away, all right, and they cannot let their foot off the brake. We saw Cooper Rainey get things started, but also number 4, Hunt Sands, come right back, get another score for these guys. And they find themselves down by a bunch. But I think you were talking about the face-off. Their ability to steal some of these face-offs and earn some extra possessions is going to be paramount here in this fourth quarter.
Yep, we just saw Michael Cohen stealing one away from the Moose. The Quinnipiac commit for the Scots. And it looks like they've mixed it up a little bit on offense. We got Sean Brown coming out of the box right now. Up pick on the hash. Look to the inside to Rainey. Shot right off the chest pad of Ben Abel.
Boy, thank God for that Teflon vest. Goodness.
Cooper Rainey with an absolute missiles he's been sending toward Abel's way. Solid job again by the senior, tracking that thing the whole way.
And unfortunately, like offensively, that was incredible execution. You know, Sean Brown does a great job beating his defenseman, getting separation. Great off-ball seed curl by Cooper Rainey, but shot placement, and then just certainly Ben Abel, who's been hot all day today.
Yep, the Scots look to elect to slow down a little bit within the shot clock. Again, have the 8-2 lead. They can be a little bit more patient on offense now.
And we haven't seen them be this conservative on offense, opening up the fourth. This is the first time we've ever seen them just stand in the middle of the field and kind of elect to let some of that shot clock go off.
A little bit more patience when you got a little bit of leeway.
And sometimes that can be to their advantage. And the term a lot of people say, and you saw it almost right there, is lulling that defense to sleep. So if you slow it down, you know, it causes sometimes the defenders to kind of take that edge off or their attention to detail. And that's where you get like the Duncan Zelkis, find those soft spots in the defense.
Yep. Shot goes high and wide. Backed up by Addison.
It's like trying to put a toddler to sleep. They close their eyes, you think they're sleeping, you turn around and their eyes are back open again, right? That's kind of the feeling that
I'm going to trust you on that one because you got a lot more experience.
Oh, and it goes in right there. Addison coming up the hash with the left hand. 5 holes it past Kowalski. Yeah, you're the one that's got the experience in that area.
Oh, my bad. I thought I was in good company here, guys.
No, we are. We're in great company.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
We are a family broadcast. Easy there.
Well, that's a prime example of the baby still being up with number 8, Parker Addison with the score.
I'm a big fan of the, you're playing possum, right? Right? Kind of the same thing, right? Slow them down a little bit. Nicely done right there by the sophomore. Again, the 3v3 game.
Ooh, stepped over the line.
Yep, just got a little too anxious on that one. Rightfully so. It was rolling right to him.
And for some of those viewers that maybe don't know or understand, you have to be in that restraining box, which is that line, that 30-yard line, and you cannot cross over it until somebody's obtained possession in their stick, and you'll see the official signal it. Got a little excited there.
Yep, just a little bit too early. Same exact thing before the face-off, making sure you're behind those wing lines. You're treating it like another boundary.
And, Coach, what do you think about this with HP extending their defense all the way out on the perimeter?
I think that plays in their strong suit. You don't want to let up. There's still a lot of time left in the game, and that plays into their, advantage because they're so athletic and aggressive with Ben Boyer and, Wheeler and Spencer. That's their advantage. I mean, I'd press them all day.
Yep, sweeping attempt.
Right there. I mean, that was a prime example. They got out, got on his hands, and, you had that errant shot.
Yep, playing to your favor, taking advantage of it. Brown thought about the rollback, pulls it back out, swings it back to X.
And Abel thought about the double team there.
Yes, he did. He's stepping out there a little bit, but it's going to be picked up by the Scots, and here they come again in transition. Attempted hustle play right there to try to ride it back. Pass into the middle of the field.
Another big play by Hudson Jones in between the lines. Incredible job on that clear.
And we got Ezekiel with the ball. And back up top.
And you saw ESD trying to press on the ride, but not so much Jones with the wheels getting the clear, and here we are again.
Yep.
HP on offense, and they have had a lot of possessions on offense in this second half. Majority seems like time of possession on offense favoring the Scots.
Yep.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Southern, look for ESD to start falling back into a 10-man.
And there it is, another goal for Highland Park. Swept it right to his right. It looked like there was a little bit of breakdown communication-wise. for the Eagle defense.
I love that. Number 23 going 23. Look at him working his way back inside slow. Looked like he was just slow and methodical, but he knew exactly where he was going. Did not let up.
Well, where McKellen did a really nice job is on that roll. He forced that defender to extend out and lunge. You saw him throw his hands. A lot of times when you're coaching defenders, when you're on the perimeter, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to keep that cushion with your stick. You want to make contact with your stick and their gloves. You don't want to put your hands on a guy that
Looks
deep.
like there was a slide upfield. Got dangerously close to another transitional opportunity for the Scots. Just like in the clear, it's the same thing off the face-off. You don't want to slide upfield. And right there, the Eagles slide upfield, and they got away with one there. As the Eagles come back here on offense, trying to continue to make something happen here in the fourth. Cooper Rainey swings it over. Yep, and there it is again, just like you both have mentioned. Highland Park getting out into the hands of these Eagle players, continuing to set the tone as they have all game long.
It's just draining that shot clock for the Eagles. By the time they get their first shot off, it's 30 seconds. There it is.
And there it is. Brennan tried to skip it through traffic to get it to X, and Abel picks it out of the air. And another quick transitional opportunity. 4v3. Pass down to the low wing. He's going to go at the feet of his teammate.
Yeah, Moser did an excellent job pressing out, getting his stick in his gloves to make that errant pass.
Yep, Kowalski gets the ball back. Looks like an uncontested ride here as the Scots elect to drop back.
Keller.
Nice job right there by Keller Holmes, getting the ball right back to his offense. Ooh, over the head attempt, but it looks like, looks like a shoulder might have came out right there. But they're going to let play continue. Sean Brown takes it, and a shot and a goal in transition. But we do have an Eagle player down. Looked like his shoulder might have been tweaked on that over the head attempted check. And the training staff is going to come out and tend to him. Couldn't tell if it was Ellefson.
Whatever it was, he went down immediately.
Yep, certainly hate to see that.
Maybe forearm or wrist.
Working all year. As Dalton, what do we think about this replay here out of the goal?
Yeah, no, I mean, he did a good job, just attacking and penetrating the middle of the field and then, going low. And that's where they've had success on Abel all day today. He's eating them up alive up top. So ESD's doing a good job mixing it up and going low.
Yep, and it looks like it was Eddie Ellefson, the junior, who Coach Southern has mentioned has been a tremendous leader of that Eagle defensive unit. All over the field for that team throughout the year. And that one looked like it was not pretty, as he seems to be wincing. So with just over 6 minutes here in the fourth, guys, if we're Highland Park, what are we doing coming out of this huddle?
Well, I'd be ready, for ESD to mix something up, possibly on the face-off. They certainly want to get possession of the ball here and then use the whole 80 seconds on the shot clock.
I'm agreeing with Coach. I mean, he takes all the great points. I mean, I'm just going to touche everything he says. I think that's the way this broadcast is going to go. Yeah, what he said.
Here we are. Yep. It's tends to happen here. In the last couple of games we've called together.
He makes you much smarter. I see the dynamic.
It
here.
is.
Okay.
Yep. That's why I came down here to run 3D, because he set it up for me. As we get another goal out of the Eagles. Speaking of setting people up, nice pass to the inside. And it's going to be 10-4. Scott's still over the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, ESD did a really good job with their wings, just collapsing on that face-off and creating a ton of pressure that allowed that ball to squirt out and then executing in transition.
Yeah, and it's out of the HP playbook. You see the rotation and getting the ball into the open hand. and taking no time to get the score off.
Yeah, and it was a great look-off and skip pass by Cooper there, dishing it over for his teammate, Jack Provost, to put it in the back of the net.
Yep, that replay right there brought to you by Iron Horse Lacrosse. And that last goal brought to you by Agent Natalie Burkhalter of State Farm. As there's a shot wide, backed up by Montiero. And there's going to be a timeout here. We're going to take a timeout as well, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back. Just over 6 minutes here in the fourth. Highland Park has a 10-4 lead over the Eagles of ESD. And we've seen a lot of solid performances out of a lot of players here on both sides. But again, we got to talk about big number 16 and Ben Abel. He's done a tremendous job in between the pipes.
Certainly the MVP of the game. And, you know, I think HP certainly all seasons had the best defense in the state, certainly showcasing it here today.
And Heckma, you've seen him pretty much all year, right? So
No, I haven't. And so I'm not shocked at all in his abilities, and especially with those shot attempts in close. I said it before, guys. It's where he gets into trouble is when his vision is impacted, and we hadn't seen a lot of that today. I'm sure for Coach Mike Pressler, even being up by 6, he doesn't want to see his defense have a collapse here in these final 5 minutes.
Yep, Coach Mike Pressler, certainly no stranger to the elite level. Former coach at Duke, most recently at Bryant, was there for a very long time. As there's a shot by Rainey, stings the corner, and wow.
That was a heater.
That was moving.
Yeah, and I could say this. I didn't even see it. You know, all I saw was the net move, and that was a laser shot from this near side.
That was an absolute Top Gun look as we look at the replay there. That replay brought to you by Iron Horse. Where'd he go? Where'd who go?
And that's where they're having success, is on those quick release shots. As Abel's adjusting and coming across from that pass, getting it in and out of your stick before he can get set. That's how they've been able to get the last 2 goals.
Cohn and Musa in a lockup. There's going to be a play on. Looked like there was an illegal procedure. Somebody kicked the stick. And the Eagles still trying to fight to stay alive, down by 5 here in the fourth.
Yeah, they've come alive, and you tell, man, the momentum has shifted over to ESD with those quick scores.
As we got more and more folks starting to enter the stadium here for the second game. We'll be right here on Game On Sports Network for the Woodlands and Westlake. As there's a shot by Rainey, goes wide, still backed up by Montiero.
And he tried to go back to the same spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, he got it in and out of his stick there. The ball was getting a little stagnant and kind of dying in the stick.
Yep, lets that defense set. Conrodi with the ball now. Down to the wing to Rainey. Almost looked like Montiero was going to be open on that low pipe. Good job by Highland Park snapping back in.
Yeah, and Coach Stahl mixing it up, throwing a little zone at ESD.
Yep, and here comes an attempt in the inside. Montiero shot saved again by Abel. Rebound's going to go towards the sideline, picked up by Rainey.
And Abel did an excellent job matching stick to stick in the inside.
Shot again by Rainey, and it goes in. And he's letting the crowd know that they're still very much alive here with 4:27 left in the fourth. And it's a 4-goal game now.
And he does a great job. The last 2 shots, he went high, uses that box fake we see all the time, mixes it up and goes low. I think Abel just had a tough time tracking that one.
Yeah, I love that high to low shot on this side by Cooper Rainey. But if I'm HP, I am moving 40 off of his spot. You're hot over here. You're going to have to find somewhere else to get hot, right?
Well, and nobody else has really kind of broken down the defense. You know, if I'm Coach Stahl, I'd maybe go out there and throw a shutoff on him.
Absolutely. They elected to put a short stick on Montiero earlier in this game. I wonder if they end up doing that here as Frank the Moose Musa gets another face-off for the Scots. And here they come again on offense. Looks like Musa was electing to keep himself on the field. Finally gets the string, and he's headed off.
Well, and that's a really heady play by Musa, knowing that ESD's got to press, staying on there to be an outlet pass to his teammate.
Yep, a hard pass to the inside, goes out of the stick. Scrum for it in the middle of the field, picked up by the Eagles. Here they come in transition, got a 4v3 with a chaser. Cooper Rainey steps down, and it goes in again.
Oh, wow.
Transition, and oh my goodness gracious, I don't know about that one. Hopefully they didn't get that on camera.
That was a really tough GB by Gatchel, who initiated that and was able to push it in transition here. He does a good job recognizing he's getting pressure, dishes it over to Rainey, who continues to mix up his shots. Great placement.
Yep.
Man, the velocity, though, on that shot. We've seen 3 in a row from Cooper Rainey from over here on the left side, and each one of those are lasers that he's sending through to the net. Been able right now, man, this is the first time I've ever seen him reeling from shots. So, obviously, this HP defense, they are going to have to stand up as their lead has dissipated to 3.
Definitely an emotional goal right there as Conrody's going to get the ball for the Eagles. Swung down back to the senior and Rainey. Kid's certainly feeling himself after a couple of goals here quickly. Montiero back to the wing. And he's going to pull it out.
Yeah, that was a great job by Owen, sitting down and playing disciplined defense.
As we're just over 3 minutes left in this game, the UVA commit Sean Brown slips. And there's going to be a flag down. So free play for the Eagles.
Free play and man-up opportunity. So first time that we've seen that.
Shot and it goes in. Down the alley, the Washington Lee commit, Blair Brennan sticks it to the low pipe on the run. And it's getting to be a little bit of a game here, fellas.
I mean, great job going down the alley, get separation. Awesome placement. A lot of times, if you're coming across the top or going down the alley, you want to shoot that low and away. That's very difficult for goalies to make that save. I really just can't believe this run right now. You got to think if you're HP, you got to be calling a timeout here. Maybe, you know, calming the nerves and doing something to stop this run.
Looks like Coach Pressler might have had some words with his junior in the box, but again, playing aggressively on defense.
And because of that slash, you know, ESD is going to be man up on this faceoff.
Yep, extra man faceoff opportunity for the Eagles. But again, if you're facing off for Highland Park, you got to have a lot of faith in the Moose, and there it is. Swarming to the Moose is the Eagles.
And he is triple team.
Another transition opportunity upcoming here for the Eagles. Fast break. Shot's going to go in. And the ESD crowd is right behind this team. And here they come. It's a 1-goal game with just over 2.5 minutes to play. Holy cow.
This is unbelievable. The momentum and their ability here in this fourth quarter to rattle off these scores back to back to back. And there's nothing stopping. We would say the man-up opportunity was what did it, but this offensively, they are firing.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've talked about it. Pennington's done an excellent job, not only just being on the defensive end, but certainly creating offense in transition.
Yep, the momentum swinging in the Eagles' favor, and Coach Pressler is going to talk some things over with his team, and we're going to talk some things over here in the booth. I might actually finish my sub. We'll be right back after this. And we're back after that quick timeout by the Scots. And guys, what just happened?
I don't know. I'm waiting on you guys to tell me, because I have no idea. I think for Ben Abel, we saw really Cooper Rainey was the one that took the seal off and got the party started for the Eagles. From over here on this left side, it just seemed like he was victimizing Ben Abel, and then other guys got involved in it, and here we are. The lifeless Eagles find themselves down by a point with 2:37.
Maybe we got to call him the Phoenix.
Maybe so.
The Eagles.
Clearly risen from the ashes, and they steal one again from the Quinnipiac commit. Cohen over to Conrody. Conrody's knife into the middle of the field, but he's going to have some patience here as the Eagles are subbing here offensively. And nerves, almost a desk pop right there, but looks like Brennan corralled it in. As Conrody's going to work on the short stick matchup here down the lefty alley. Swims back to his right. Lefty take. Shot's going to be deflected. It's going straight up in the air. Picked up by the Scots. Oh, he shoved him out of bounds, but it wasn't quite timely enough. Here come the Scots in transition. 4-on-3. Can they add to the lead? Oh, and the pass goes over the head. And it's going to go out of bounds, and the Eagles come back here. Still plenty of time left in this game.
And I think a lot of the fans were a little upset there, but you've got a minute, just under 2. You got to push that in transition, because if you could get some type of momentum and get the goal, I mean, you got to take that risk. Unfortunately, that pass was just a little high.
Absolutely. Got to do something to try to quiet down the crowd. All right. Especially in this shot clock era. Oh, almost had an offsides. But Coach Southern's going to take a timeout.
You know, coming out of this timeout, I got to think, watch that backside, maybe setting a seal for Rainey. They've had success on that alley dodge. Maybe they use it with Sean Brown coming out of the box and looking to feed across, or Blair Brennan, who had, just had a goal down the alley.
And Heckma, if you're Highland Park defensively, what are we talking over here?
Right now, man, I'm trying to get someone on a glove on number 40. I mean, Cooper Rainey right now has, from this side, he has been victimizing these guys, and everything offensively has gone off of him. He's stolen the momentum for ESD. So defensively, man, work the slide. Do what got you here. I talked about in the open that it's been the defense this year that has been the difference for the Highland Park Scots. Offensively, we saw how quick strike they were without scoring a goal in the first quarter. In the second, just coming off just rapid fire, getting those 2 goals. But right now, in these last couple of minutes, we haven't seen them score anything. So, look, defensively, you got to get the turnovers, but offensively, man, maybe you need an insurance goal.
Yeah. Speaking of insurance, that last goal brought to you by State Farm.
Oh, man. Transition, baby.
So there we go.
Oh, that's so good.
Talk about that apple. I mean, alley-oop. Just laying it up.
Yeah, there it is.
Man.
Great. Speaking of setting people up. Hey, Natalie Burkholder, don't say I never did anything for you, okay?
Wow.
Absolutely. And it looks like they're going to elect to give it to Conrody coming out of the timeout. Highland Park showing man out of this timeout as well.
And certainly after that run, I don't think they could fall in the zone. You got to go man. You got to know where 40's at. And they looks like they're going to attack the shorty
Montiero
here.
with the short stick, and it goes in! Tie game! Up the hash on the short stick, and he sticks it past Abel at the 5-5. And it's a tie ball game with just over a minute left here in this contest.
I mean, ESD does an awesome job right here, just recognizing they have that short stick on the attackman, and does a good job of driving up the hash and putting that low and away.
And, Coach, I felt like as soon as they saw that short stick, it was green light. It was green light, go. We're going right there. And, man, that is the shot that they needed, and the score as well. Man, that is – man, no complaints on this side from the Eagles, man. They have really battled to get back in this game.
Through the legs look by Cohen, and it's picked up a big ground ball right there by the Eagles, and it's down to Montiero. And there's a minute left, and Coach Southern is going to take his last timeout of this half. It is now 10-all, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I love the idea that when you pull into the service garage, your name comes up on the screen. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at our Dallas and Fort Worth Sewell Infinity locations.
We've done both new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
And we're back. Sorry about that. Had a little technical difficulty with the headset. It's 10-all. Whew. There's 56 seconds left in this game.
Oh, my God.
Guys, hold on to your ties. Heckman's tie fell off.
Yeah,
I'm holding it with two hands.
Yeah, I'm like trying to fix mine. That was unbelievable. Coming out of this timeout, ESD's got the ball. Your Coach Southern, what are we talking about here, fellas?
Either attack the short sticks, they've had success doing that, or look to get Rainey open off ball by initiating with either Sean Brown, Conrody, or Blair Brennan.
Yeah, for Coach Southern, everything that he's dialed up has worked. Here in the fourth quarter, they've battled. I mean, right now for HP, they are back on their heels. In offensively, I was talking about the time of possession before the fourth quarter. I just feel like we've spent the entire fourth quarter on this side, and ESD has capitalized on every opportunity that they've had.
Looking to play to the hot hand, certainly, as Conrody is going to take the ball and head just to the tip of the star here in Capel Stadium, or excuse me, Buddy Eccles Field. And he's going to wait for the green light from Coach Southern before he attacks.
Well, unfortunately for them, there's more time on the shot clock than there is in the game, so they can really work this down to get the final shot of regulation.
Yep, clock winding down just to about 27 ticks here. Conrody finally gets the go-ahead from his head coach. Heading to his left, down the lefty alley. Slide comes by Highland Park. He bellies it, swings it over to Montiero. Montiero, attempted dodge, is stoned by the Highland Park defense. Blair Brennan to his right. Over to the UVA commit and Brown. Back to Rainey. Rainey's shot just goes wide, and it just missed.
And we're going to OT.
And that's going to do it. And we're here for bonus lacrosse right after a break from our sponsors.
To car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And we're back for the start of overtime here. We saw the Lake Travis game go to overtime.
And I actually think this is actually going to work in Highland Park's favor because, ESD has really kind of changed it up, put a lot of pressure by incorporating their wings in the faceoff. This allows Frank Musa to get a chance and get a breath to get his recovery back. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes out here a little bit fresher on this faceoff.
Yep, ESD electing to take the stick head side fast break away. So if they can get there, hopefully forcing the senior to his left in transition rather than him have it in his strong hand. But he picks it up.
Huge face-off by Musa there.
And Coach Pressler takes the timeout. And that is just a senior going to play at a Division I school doing a senior thing right there. So Dalton, we're here in overtime. For those of you playing the home game, can we explain what we're doing here in overtime?
Sudden death, baby.
Yep, it's
Put
like,
it in the back of the net, game over.
much like the NHL, some of those Stars fans out there.
But there's no shootouts.
There are no shootouts.
shootouts.
But
we could be here for a
the
long
golden
day.
goal rule, yeah, we'd be here forever. It's not like the NLL. Goals are too big. Well, Heckma, what are we thinking here for the Scots? They got the timeout. Where are we going to?
I think offensively, you have all the hot sticks. You know, with this sophomore group that you have, you know, these guys can get shots off from anywhere. It's just that those hot sticks have cooled off in the fourth quarter. And so, you know, you're going to have to do something. Obviously, Coach Pressler is going to put a great play together for something to work for them offensively. But, man, you have plenty of shooters that you can put this on. And if anything, I'm going with Coach when he talked about Parker Addison being the best facilitator on offense. I put the ball in his hands and allow his vision to take over for the win.
And I would agree with you. I do think you have two options. You either trust in your seniors and Quinn Gordon or Wesley Iverson to initiate, or you get it back at X to Parker Addison, maybe get a big little and look for Harris Sands and Duncan Zelke to get open in the inside.
And it looks like ESD is going to pressure the ball just a little bit adjacently. We get some defense here by Pennington. And Highland Park is going to elect to go to a short stick invert here. And they hold their spots on the wings. Pass into the middle. Step down shot goes high. Backed up by the Scots. Sands with the backup.
Great look. Had plenty of heat. Just got to bring it down a little lower.
Yep. Solid look right there. Highland Park getting quality looks as they have all game long. Here in overtime, though, can they get the win over the Eagles of ESD that went on an 8-goal unanswered run to take it to overtime? As we get an attempted alley dodge right now. Pass back behind the cage, pass in front, and it's going to be saved by Kowalski by his foot, saved by a shoelace. Highland Park's going to ride it back, though.
Incredible ride by Parker Addison. That was the look, you know, big stop by ESD, and then Addison with a second effort, chasing down that defender to cause the turnover.
Addison riding the ball back like it's do or die time here in overtime.
Kowalski with that save. Boy, how about that? Just point-blank range, his ability to get that save was so clutch for ESD.
Yep. I mean, we've seen unbelievable goaltending all day today from both teams.
Here comes the initiation from behind the cage. Pass is going to go up top. Little too high to handle, but they still maintain possession here on offense. Shot clock just at 45, sweeping to his left. Patience on offense by the Scots. The Eagles pinching in, pass out in front. Shot's going to go wide, backed up again. Addison's back there. And he's going to pick it up off the end line.
A little big little.
Yep, got a little two-man, big little going on here to start, coming off the end line. Addison taking it to his right, looking to feed something inside. Elects to pass it up top. Shot's going to go, and it's going to go wide again. 26 seconds left here in the shot clock for the Scots. Still plenty of time to try to get this one and bury it. Pass out to the wing, uncontested shot, and it goes in, and that's going to do it. And the Scots are going to head to the state championship game. Coach Mike Pressler, in his first year for the Highland Park Scots, leads these guys to victory. And that is going to do it.
And it's the sophomores coming up big to win it for the seniors. Excellent job. Correction, Wesley Iverson, senior, stepping up, causes that slide, and then finds Duncan Zelke, who was only one away from having a sock trick today.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen Duncan Zilke do what he did from that particular area. We saw Cooper Rainey obviously take over on the left side. This is one of those guys as a sophomore, Duncan Zilke, his ability just to get his shot off. But you're right, man, clearing things out for him, making that shot possible. We've seen this for both of these guys, both of these teams, just the unselfish play. Taking over and no one trying to play hero ball, and that's why Duncan Zilke got the win for HP.
Yep. Tremendous fight right there by the Eagles.
Yeah. Talk about, I mean, I thought that game was kind of in the bag, and they really turned it on. I mean, it was an unbelievable fourth quarter. Unfortunately, they just dug themselves in too deep of a hole, and then you have the senior Goose coming up clutch, initiating from behind in that short stick invert.
And if you're the Highland Park faithful, you're breathing a sigh of relief after that 8-goal unanswered run. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with the full game recap right after this. And we're back after a unbelievable fourth quarter by the Eagles of ESD, but Highland Park claims victory in sudden death, leaning on their sophomores like we've talked about before in this broadcast.
And also their seniors. And I think you saw that senior leadership on display at the end by Wesley Iverson executing in that short stick invert to open it up for Duncan Zilke.
Yep, and Heckma, let's talk about the player of the game, man. We know who it is. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, we're going to go both sides. I'm just going to give love to Ben Abel, right? Defensively, that his ability in that first half all the way through, he was standing on his head doing great things. And obviously everyone's going to look to that 8-point onslaught there from ESD. They came back in a hurry, and that's why they've gotten to this position. But guys, I mean, I'm interested to hear from you who your offensive player is.
Mine's Cooper Rainey. I mean, hot hand, playing it out. I mean, he finally came into his own. Had a little bit of emotion behind it, is I think why he was probably shooting it. But again, I mean, it's, Dalton, let's talk through the highlights here, though.
Yeah, so, Parker Addison did a great job facilitating. You see it right here. Duncan Zilke, who's the leader in goals. He had 5 goals today. Obviously, Frank Musa, we talked about in transition. This is how they really got going, pushing it in between the lines. And that started with the player of the game that you mentioned, Ben Abel, his ability to save the ball and get it out up in front as quick as possible. But, great job by the surrounding cast. You have Brian Rapp there with the high bouncer, and then Cooper Rainey. I mean, he's the one that really led the charge for the ESD Eagles, and he does a good job of mixing up his shots. You'll see later on. Wesley Iverson, not only his ability to split 2 different slides there, but also feeding from behind. They had a lot of success. You see Parker Addison here again, Duncan Zilke. I mean, just super, super crafty off ball.
Yep, and if you're Highland Park, you're living to fight another day as our first semifinal game is over. Highland Park wins it 11-10 in extra lacrosse.
And honestly, I think Parker Addison generated more points, whether his goals or assists, with his weak hand. And you got to think that probably played a factor because, going into the scout, knowing he's a two-handed player, but he's a righty. So you got to think, ESD was probably favoring that right hand, and you saw today how deadly he was facilitating with his offhand.
Man, that is a great point, and that's ESD picking their poison. And too often they just left Duncan Zilke unattended because you had to pay so much attention to Parker Addison. But man, it's just so much that went into this game. First of all, from a coaching standpoint, you guys have got to love the scheme that was shown and just the gamesmanship between these two head coaches, because they called timeouts at the right time, they executed plays at the right time, and everything worked for them.
Yeah, and you saw that. I mean, Coach Southern really getting his guys in the fourth quarter to mix up their shots. They were going high. Ben Abel, very good. You saw the last 2 goals were all low. And then certainly just executing the game plan. Hey, we have the short stick matchup. Drive up the hashes, put that low and away. And then here's a game winner right here by the senior, Wesley Iverson, creating that slide to get Duncan Zelke open off ball.
And again, talking about it, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to stay right here as a crew for our second game of the day for the AA semifinals. We have Westlake and the Highlanders of the Woodlands coming up next, and we're going to be right back with our pregame for that right after this.